Hi, Shirley, Sarah from the Upcoming. Such a pleasure to speak to you. For people who don't know anything about The Trouble with Jessica, what can they expect from this movie?
Just an evening of badness, madness, a bit of flirtation, a lot of prettiness, a lot of alcohol, just sort of people highly stressed, but in a sort of trendy, fun way. So I hope so anyway. I don't know, something entertaining, hopefully.
And I don't want to give any spoilers, but I was quite shocked with what happened quite early on in the film. When you first read the script, what was your thought, and what kind of maybe shocked you, but also excited you about playing this part?
I liked obviously there's this thing that happens, which I'm not allowed to tell you about until you go and see it. But I liked it made me laugh, and it just made me want to jump in there. There's something addictive about it. There's people coming together, and they really should just end the evening, but they don't. They just keep going at each other. It's like they're feeding off each other, and the stress levels are getting higher and higher. And with that comes the kind of comedy element, and how much can people cope with? How much are you going to take? And I enjoy watching things like that, and it was very much I enjoyed filming that as well. So.
And such an incredible cast, and I overheard you saying there, it does almost play out like a play, like you're in theatre. So did it feel like that on set? And I guess kind of getting this tone and bouncing off each other. What were some of the highlights, but maybe sometimes the challenges of that?
Basically learning the dialogue first of all, because I didn't have very much time. So there were long scenes, lots of speeches within those long dialogue scenes. So getting on top of that and getting the speed with it, because there's a speed to the film, the speed to the conversation. So getting that you're not really thinking about it, it's just at your fingertips. That was very difficult, and I had to just keep working away at that. And then that allows you to fly a little bit. So when people give you something, when Olivia is nasty to me or chucking something at me, I've got it inside me to chuck something back at her, and then it just goes up a level, and then the men start battling it. It just goes up and up and up. There's great relish in that, but your brain is kind of overloaded at the same time. It's a joy, but also kind of angst-ridden at the same time.
And there's something very British about kind of pairing comedy with tragedy, and sort of some of the lines as well, sort of like really cracking these taboos, things you're sort of not supposed to say out loud. Did you have any favourite lines? And what do you think is great about that tone? And do you find that is quite like a British way with dealing with things that are like challenging and trauma?
Well, I mean, we've always got a dark sense of humour, haven't we? We often laugh at people hurting themselves, things like that. There's comedy in all of that. I suppose just the human condition is the human condition at a stress level that they could not have imagined that this would happen to them, and how they're going to deal with this. And we all, in slightly different ways, somehow get through this evening, and it's enjoyable. And I don't know. I hope people like that sort of thing. So.
And there's something true about marriage as well, and relationships in there that like we're always kind of like trying to pick holes in things, but there's also a sense of they go through all this together, but do they almost come out stronger at the end in a strange way?
Well, that's the thing, and there's like a love-hate. Everybody's got a love-hate thing. They can't get enough of each other, and they just want to run away from each other at the same time, but they keep coming back, and it keeps going round in circles until it has to kind of implode. There's joy as an audience member watching stuff like that, watching people, at the end of their tether, but in a kind of fun way. So.
Yeah, and what do you hope people will take away, I guess, in that sense? It is a bit of a ride, but, maybe serious message in there about, looking out for your friends and, about mental health. And so while you're sort of laughing at things, you're also thinking about things at the same time.
Yes, you can look at it in many ways. Ultimately, I hope that you just have a good night's entertainment and not take it too seriously. It is a film, it's a story, and yes, it touches on sad and dark subject matter, but I don't want you to worry about it. I want you to enjoy it and have a nice time watching the film, even though it's dark. There wasn't really time to analyse it, there wasn't time to over-discuss it, just sort of to accept it and try and find the truth in it and not overthink each scene, just try and be it and see what happens. It felt like we were doing a play some of the time. This long dialogue, all in the same place. So not overthink about it, just accept it and try and be truthful with it. Yeah, I like the sort of twists and turns, and I like the speed of it. I like that there's lots of dialogue, even though it's very hard to learn. I like that there's a non-stop conversation and energy and different emotions being thrown at you, and it makes you react in a way that you might not have wanted your evening to go. And I found that very entertaining and frightening, and wanted to dive in there and see what happens. Not particularly, there wasn't really room for that because the dialogue was really good, and there wasn't a great deal of time to do the scenes, so we just really stuck mainly with the dialogue and just tried to hone that as fast as we could. I mean, everybody sees things a different way. I hope that they enjoy it, even though there's a dark, very dark side to it, and it pushes people to the limit of their stress points. But I don't know, I mean, obviously there's kind of slightly tragic things that happen within this, and they may find that surprising and shocking, but they may also see the lighter side of things and the madness of life and this kind of life that we live. And if you bring all this cocktail of people together, something good might come out of it as well. So just straight in there, just began. I got the job before started, and my main priority was just to get on top of the dialogue, get on top of the feeling of Sarah very, very fast. It was through doing it, we discovered, we learned as we went along. And mainly in this big house, but we used to sit upstairs in between filming, we would sit upstairs in the bedroom, and Olivia, Alan and Rufus would sit at the bed, and I would be in the bathroom trying to learn lines because I came on much later. And it took about 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, we were all able to sit on that bed and chat and relax and see what we're actually doing here. Because your body's just in this kind of hyper mode. We're in this now. Let's just rattle through this.